Hi, I'm Adam Haines. I'm a partner in the Employment and Business Immigration team, and today I'm going to be answering 5 common questions in relation to business immigration. The Golden Visa is an investor visa that required an individual to invest £2 million into the UK economy in simple terms. However, this route was closed in 2022 and is no longer relevant to new applicants. No, they're not guaranteed to be granted. Each visa depends upon obviously a different set of facts, so it will depend on each visa you're applying for. For example, visitor visas are particularly difficult, 25% of them fail. One of the reasons is that you need to prove that the individual will return to the country at the end of the visit, and that can be particularly difficult to evidence. Obviously the different circumstances depending on which way you want to come into the UK and the circumstances, but normally you need a sponsor licence, which is essentially proving you're entitled to bring workers in from overseas, and then simply a visa for the individual that meets all the requirements. One of the things of doing part of this is that you also have a compliance. Your compliance is strong and you have procedures in place to ensure that the sponsor licence is correctly managed. There isn't really a category for a business visa. There are a number of visas that are applicable to businesses. So the most common is a skilled worker visa. Most of the applications we do relate to that. So that requires an individual to be of an A-level standard. An English language test is required, and there obviously must be a genuine role available to them. Other common visas are things like the Global Business Mobility Visa for skilled and specialist workers. That requires a higher salary requirement. It doesn't require the English language, but it's more normally for a shorter duration. So what we tend to do with companies is we have a conversation around what their needs are and then discuss which visa would be best for them in those circumstances. Depends on your personal circumstances, but on the whole, yes. That's even the case if you're coming now in from the EU. It's a bit of a common misconception. Although you can enter as a visitor, you have a number of restrictions on what you can do work-wise as a visitor, and therefore there's a high risk you'll be working illegally. So it's important that you get the right visa in place. It's going to be increasingly so given the changes coming in the next sort of 12-24 months, which will be detailing the reasons why you're entering the UK.